Happening now, Jamestown's homeless population is on the rise. We hear from local leaders who are eyeing solutions to help. And a record number of illegal guns have been seized so far this year in New York State. We break down the numbers. Plus, back to school, a look at what educators are doing to welcome kids back to the classroom this fall.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up next. But first, there's been a noticeable uptick in the amount of homeless people in the city of Jamestown, and local leaders are now trying to figure out the right solution to the problem. Our Bronson Rasmussen joins us live in the newsroom with more on this today. Hello, Bronson.
Justin, there could be many reasons that someone is homeless. As of late, officials tells us that there are many on the streets now after being evicted for renting problems during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Some of the reason that we're seeing such a steep increase in homelessness is because the eviction moratorium was lifted. And so now eviction court is back open, and so people who were housed are no longer housed. We also have seen an influx of people from other areas. But we understand that a lot of people are coming down from Buffalo.
While there are many resources available to anyone who is homeless, such as a slew of non-for-profits ready to help, many are not willing to accept the handout and all the terms and conditions that come with it.
Because of their funding, they have certain restrictions and obligations for what they can and cannot do. It doesn't mean that people aren't out there trying. It just, there are people sometimes that, in spite of everyone's best efforts, refuse all the help because they don't want to follow the rules.
Lately, we've seen an increase in homelessness gathering under bridges and places like the railroad viaduct on Main Street in downtown Jamestown. While police ask them to disperse, Mayor Eddie Sundquist says that the solution is not as simple as just moving people out.
We have had times where we have moved individuals out of areas, but keep in mind every time you shift someone out of an area, they go somewhere else.
In the end, there's no perfect retort on how to solve the homelessness situation in Jamestown.
We are working on it. We're working diligently on it. I don't have a good answer, and the more I talk to other mayors that have done this in areas that have a much larger homelessness population under much larger bridges and areas, they don't have a very good answer either. So we're trying the best we can to support those folks as well as protect those areas.
Now, Justin, currently officials are trying to work with the county's homeless coalition to help support the homeless population locally. There are also plans in the works to build 2 new shelters downtown, which could help provide temporary housing for those in need. Live in the newsroom, Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
Bronson, thank you. A wanted Jamestown man is accused of leading officers on a foot pursuit on the city's west side this week. Officers with the Jamestown Police Department conducted a traffic stop on 41-year-old Justin Meckham's vehicle in the area of Geneva Street and Livingston Avenue around 8:30 last night. Now, through the course of their investigation, police found that Meckham had outstanding warrants and was considered to be a parole absconder. While trying to take him into custody, police said that's when he fled on foot, leading officers on a brief foot pursuit. Now, after reportedly resisting arrest and attempting to destroy a quantity of a controlled substance, Meckham was cuffed and then taken to Jamestown City Jail. Officers say he faces a slew of charges in connection with the warrants and the alleged drug possession. And Jamestown Senior Citizens Home Improvement Initiative program has come to a close, showing a large number of applicants, more than what anyone in the city had anticipated. This program was aimed at helping the elderly population here in Jamestown who are eligible for home repairs. The city had received 296 applications for the program in total. Originally allocated $500,000 to use this program. Of the 296 applicants, the current amount totals around $1.7 million.
Of that number, 296, 27 are agent exemption, which means that they're below the 22,000. Below 22,000. 269 are an enhanced star, so they meet the age threshold and under 92,000. Okay. Of those applications, the 296, 13 had applied for the roofing program and will most likely get the roofing program, so we may pull them out of this program. And we have from that list at 296, 32 disabled seniors and 46 indicated they have chronic illness, difficulty moving.
Now, currently, there is only enough money to cover the aged exemption applicants and those with dire needs. Mayor Eddie Sundquist, along with his office, may have to ask the City Council for additional funding to help finance all of the applications which they have received. Well, educators here in Jamestown are making final preparations for the fast approaching school year and at the same time now celebrating an important milestone of one of their elementary schools. Our Alyssa Wright joins us live in studio with more on the back-to-school process here locally. Hey, Alyssa.
Hi, Justin. Jamestown Public Schools are working really hard to get families, new and returning, excited about this academic year, which kicks off in just 2 weeks' time. And what a better way to get in the groove of education than an open house celebration.
I have always been very proud to be part of the Jamestown Public Schools as a student, as a teacher, as an administrator. But being here in this building as it turns 100 years old and thinking about how many children have passed through these doors, it is pretty special.
This year, the school is adopting a new policy they're calling the ABCs.
The A is about attendance, making sure that we get our kids to school as often as possible. The B is about behavior, so that we behave properly, correctly, politely, and respectfully. And the C is about our core classes, our core academics, doing well in school.
Addressing setbacks from the COVID-19 pandemic is also top priority.
We have grave concerns after the 2 years of COVID about the impact academically, developmentally, and socially that that's had on our kids. So we have a lot of supports in place, psychologists, teachers on special assignment designed to support student learning. We have behavioral first responders. We have additional counselors. All of this is designed to help us meet our goals with kids and support them as they return to school.
In the end, the superintendent stresses that sticking with full in-person learning is a must.
Schools are a place where kids and adults are supposed to be. They're supposed to be full. And in the summertime, there's lots of people here, and there are kids doing things, but it's not the same. And even though sometimes in school it's stressful and it's challenging, it's a wonderful place to be, and we're just so happy to have everybody coming back.
To not only celebrate Lincoln Elementary School turning 100 years old, but to also open the doors to families, the school is hosting a centennial celebration on Saturday. This event, which is invitation only, will give parents and students a chance to tour the school, meet staff, and hopefully ease some back-to-school anxiety. Reporting live in studio, Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
All right, Alyssa, thank you very much for that. Well, now let's switch gears, get a first check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter standing by with more on that today. And the kiddos are probably, it depends, right? If they're looking back, excited to go back to school. Nevertheless, they still have some time to get out there and enjoy the beautiful summer weather.
Yes, we do have at least a couple more weeks left before the kids have to go back to school here. But the festivities at the Chautauqua Institution going on as planned. Everybody having a lovely day out there. And you can see even the sky also is cooperating along with that. The rain showers that you see up here are going to pass well to our north. So that's not going to be an issue for today. But across the southern tier, we could see at least an isolated shower or thunderstorm through the afternoon. The fog we had this morning burned off. Visibilities are not an issue now. So we are going to be A-OK in that department. 77 was the high yesterday. Started the day at 57. We had forecasted 78 and 57, so a very good forecast. 92 and 3rd and 34 are the records. So through the afternoon, partly to mostly sunny. An isolated shower or thunderstorm is possible. Isolated means not everywhere. Still muggy, 77 to 85 with that southwest wind, but the heat cranks up as we go into the weekend. We'll talk about it with the Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-Day later in the show, Justin.
All right, Dakota, we'll see you back in just a little bit as we continue. A record number of illegal guns have been seized so far this year here in New York State. And later, what our U.S. Senator has to say about President Biden's plan to forgive student loan debt. Stay with us. WNY News Now. We'll be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Looking for a fair and honest auto mechanic? Look no further than DeWias Auto Service. Located at 140 Main Street in Randolph, our family-owned business is ready for all of your automotive needs. From general service to more complex repairs, count on DeWias Auto to keep you on the road. We not only keep your cars running smoothly, but also looking great with our expert detailing crew. Send us a message on Facebook or call us today at 716-358-2292 to set up an appointment. DeWias Auto Service. Fair, honest, and the best prices guaranteed.
Hey ladies, are you looking for a fun night out on the town this fall? We have the event for you. Join Collaborative Children's Solutions as we celebrate the women of our community during a special Ladies Red Carpet Gala. Grab your friends and fanciest clothes for a night of dancing at the Northwest Arena in Jamestown, New York. There will be dessert and a cash bar. All proceeds directly benefit Collaborative Children's Solutions. Learn more at ccsolutions716.com.
Stay fire safe this summer. Only use grills outdoors, away from siding and deck railings. Clean grills often and remove grease or fat buildup. Make sure your gas grill lid is open before lighting. Have a 3-foot safe zone around grills and campfires. Keep kids and pets clear of the area. Dispose of coals after they cool in a metal can. Never leave grills, fire pits, and patio torches unattended. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov.
Brought to you by the Chautauqua Safety Village and the Jamestown Fire Department.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvanna Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Buffalo businessman Carl Palladino has conceded in the Republican primary for New York's 23rd Congressional District. Now, Palladino did not concede on Tuesday night after the results came in that Nick Langworthy was in the lead, citing what he called statistical irregularities in a number of counties. Now, yesterday, he thanked his supporters and said it's time for what's next. According to results posted on the New York State Board of Elections site, State GOP Chair Nick Langworthy came out on top in that closely contested primary with 51% of the vote compared to Palladino's 47%. Well, after launching the Interstate Task Force on Illegal Guns in January, New York's governor reporting that the collaboration between states has been a success. Our Julia Gress breaking down how many guns they've taken off the street.
States conduct their investigations. The data stops at the state line. It was not shared with neighbors, and this pipeline, some call it the iron pipeline of bringing illegal guns in, was being successful because we didn't share data.
From January to July, Governor Kathy Hochul says gun seizures increased 20% over the same time period last year. State police alone seized almost 1,500 guns, the highest number in our state's history. Troopers also recovered ghost guns, which are illegal in New York.
Through July of this year, shootings in the state of New York, shootings overall are down 11%. And shooting victims are down 12% compared to the same period last year.
$227 million in gun violence prevention programs and law enforcement support have been rolled out, which includes centers to collect crime data and investigative work. Hochul explains this is meant to help effectively solve, reduce, and eventually prevent gun crimes.
The threat of making mass harm is now a crime. So you threaten this, that is a crime. So again, connecting the dots, stopping it before something tragic happens.
Social media investigations are also now required for both gun and ammunition purchases, which will be tracked through a database used by all law enforcement agencies. Red flag laws were also strengthened.
I directed, and this was not permissive, this was a directive to the state police, that when they become aware of an individual who could do harm to themselves or others, we have a right to find out if they have access to weapons, and if so, take them, appear before a judge, make your case, but in so doing, you may be preventing the next mass shooting or further shootings on the streets. So
Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Now, since these laws were passed, orders of protections increased 74%, resulting in 188 total. The state is also seeking regulations to restrict concealed weapons in sensitive locations. And in Pennsylvania, Governor Tom Wolf was joined by White House officials this week to discuss the infrastructure law President Biden recently signed. The law infrastructure bill was signed last fall, and we're now getting a look at exactly where that money is going to be going. Pennsylvania is expected to receive over $11 billion for highway-appointed programs and $1.6 billion for bridge replacement repairs. Over the next 5 years, nearly $3 billion will be used to improve public transit options, and $170 million will be allocated for the expansion of electronic vehicle charging. Furthermore, Pennsylvania will see a large infrastructure investment for the impacts of climate change, broadband, and clean drinking water. It's all about making America better for everyone else, giving people a little breathing room and allowing them to have a platform on which to build generational wealth.
It's all about making America better for everybody else, giving people a little breathing room and allowing them to have a platform on which to build generational wealth.
Good infrastructure supports stronger communities, improves the quality of life, it promotes economic development, it promotes growth.
Pennsylvania airports will also see an investment of more than $350 million over the next 5 years. Well, New York Senator Chuck Schumer is praising Biden's decision on student loans. The senator says that Biden has taken a giant step forward in addressing the student debt crisis by canceling significant amount of student debt for millions of borrowers. Schumer adds this will positively impact families across the country in minority communities. However, many Republicans are pushing back against this decision, calling it fiscally irresponsible and a future burden on taxpayers. Coming up next, we check in with our congressional correspondent who's monitoring a book ban talk now underway in D.C., what this means for our local schools. And later, we check in with Tall Ships Erie, which is officially kicking off today with the popular Parade of Sails. But first, Dakota returns with a full look at our weather forecast.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Calling all teachers. Get your year started off right with an evening with Gary Brooks. Come see Gary as he shares his funniest school stories and strategies to build a positive school culture. Go to reginalda.com for tickets and more information.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back, everybody, and wanted to start off with a couple of weather eye pictures. Don sending this in to us this morning. Anybody know what kind of bird this is? I thought it was an owl at first, but I don't believe so.
It almost looks like a hawk when you examine the beak. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The hawk, it looks like a hawk to me, some sort of hawk or a relative to the hawk.
Okay, so we'll call it Tony Hawk. So
all
there's
right,
so there's Tony Hawk.
Woo!
And Justin, your mom's sending this in as well. And how about this? The sunflowers in Bemis Point, and of course with the sun going down. So of course, if you have any pictures or video of the weather, Hunters WX on Twitter, the First Defense weather page on Facebook, and always use that hashtag MyLocalWX. And in terms of the rainfall for the month, we need a lot. The rain total for the month, 2.45 inches. We're not too far from below average, but look at where we should be for the summer season. We're down almost 4 inches for the entire season, and obviously we start keeping records next Thursday for autumn, so I don't think we're going to see 3 inches worth of rain in about a week. Sorry. So I think we're going to end it below average. 76 right now as of noon hour. A light southwest wind of 6. The dew point still up there at 59. We are going to see that dew point increasing over the next couple of days, and that really is going to be the big thing you're going to notice. The dew point shoots up into the muggy category tomorrow. Then we go back down to at least 1 day of somewhat refreshing air. Then whoop, right back up the scale we go. And I think by next week we're going to be into that oppressive category. So rain chances today very isolated. The better rain chances will be further to the north, but the rain chances across the southern tier and northwestern PA increase tomorrow. We're looking at about a 70% chance of rain and thunderstorms through the day tomorrow. And along with that, the Storm Prediction Center has pulled in a marginal risk, a level 1 out of 5 for basically the easternmost areas. Does not include any part of the westernmost southern tier, but we'll see if they pull this further back to the west tomorrow on the newest update. But it's something to keep an eye on, and it's all a part of this front system that's limbering over the region. This is going to be dropping into the region, bringing us those rain showers tomorrow. So Future Scan paints the idea of maybe a couple isolated showers through the afternoon. Notice those little blobs popping up here, and especially through the evening hours. We're going to keep a few scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for tonight, but again, not everyone's going to see a shower or a thunderstorm. Here comes the better chance for showers and thunderstorms through tomorrow afternoon. And again, scattered coverage, but again, more widespread, but still scattered in the overall coverage. But then by Saturday, we start to dry out, and I think we are going to have a fantastic weekend, although warm with a lot of sunshine. So future rainfall, again, this is a time where you don't really buy what the model is spitting out here. But again, I do think we could be looking at some heavier downpours where those heavier downpours do set up. So do expect a little more than what was pointed there. So the next 7 days powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So the weekend looking great, but again, lots of sunshine, turns a bit more sticky on Sunday, and then the heat returns from Monday and Tuesday with scattered afternoon showers and storms. Finally, we get that relief, Justin, on Wednesday.
Yeah, certainly we'll be needing it. Keep those ACs, folks. Thank you, Dakota. All around the nation now, a teacher strike in Columbus, Ohio might be coming to an end. The city school district and Columbus Education Association confirming they've reached a conceptual agreement today. Students have been learning online for the first few days of the school year. The school board saying it hopes to welcome them back to the classroom come Monday. And a jury has awarded $31 million in damages to the widow of basketball legend Kobe Bryant and co-plaintiff Christopher Chester. The lawsuit alleges that Los Angeles County officials took and then shared photos of the crash that killed Bryant, his daughter Gianna, Chester's wife and daughter, and 5 others back in 2020. It comes after the sheriff testified this week, admitting that he did not know for certain whether the photos had been deleted. LA County officials say they've now all since been destroyed. $16 million of this award will go to Bryant and the other $15 million to Chester. Closing arguments began Tuesday, which would have been Kobe Bryant's 44th birthday. And it's the past couple of decades, the American Library Association noting that more and more books are being challenged or banned from school libraries. They say many of which are by or about Black and LGBTQ plus people. As Rachel Knapp reports, some congressional members are now raising concerns about books they say are unfit for school.
Genderqueer, a Memoir by Maya Kobabe is an example of a book congressional members including Fred Keller, Mike Kelly, and Glenn Thompson say are unfit for schools. The book got the top spot last year for being the most challenged graphic novel. According to the New York Times, the book has been under scrutiny for a few factors. It deals with puberty and sexual identity and includes a few drawings of nude characters and sexual scenarios. Keller says his office received calls from parents about the book, and they recently sent a letter to Governor Tom Wolf and the acting education secretary concerned books like this one are in school libraries.
I think we should be more focused on making sure our students are set up for success, and rather than this distraction, quite frankly, is what it is. and it's an agenda by somebody to impart, I don't know if it's some values or whatever on students, and that's not the school district's responsibility.
In the letter, members want to know what processes are in place to review school library material, how school boards, librarians, and others determine age and academically appropriate content, and more.
I think we need to make sure that we get to the bottom of what's put out at our school libraries before it does become widespread across the entire Commonwealth.
PEN America, a nonprofit who says they stand at the intersection of literature and human rights to protect free expression, they say in part, this intervention by members of Congress and the decisions made by educational professionals in their own schools and communities represents an alarming escalation of the coordinated movement to banish certain books from school classrooms in Pennsylvania and across the country. They also add, a letter like this from congressional members could have a chilling effect and make teachers hesitant to keep books in their classrooms that could be deemed even remotely controversial and garner this type of attention. They add the best way to set all students up for success in the classroom and in life is to protect their access to a wide range of stories and perspectives and not threaten educators with investigations that could violate students' First Amendment rights. In Washington, D.C., Rachel Knapp reporting.
Rachel, thank you. Next here today, the historic tall ships are scheduled to arrive in our region. However, organizers have a warning for boaters not to get too close.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights,
Vests.
please give us some room.
slow down.
Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
to help you,
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real.
Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
Catch your first defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
One of the most exciting events of the Tall Ships Festival in Erie, PA kicks off today. It's seeing the Parade of Sails. That's when all of the visiting ships, plus the flagship Niagara and Lenny G. Howard, will parade along Presque Isle Bay under a full sail. Erie News Now's Lisa Adams has more ahead of this and a warning for boaters, too.
2 visiting tall ships arrived in port early to take VIP sponsors on charters and sunset sails. They're excited to be back.
We are ecstatic to be back in Erie. It's a really nice port. The facilities are really nice, and they take really good care of us here.
Already, little boats were trying to get a close-up look at the schooner Appledore 4 and the Pride of Baltimore 2 in 1812. Like Niagara. When the Parade of Sails makes its loop around the bay tomorrow,
All the tall ships, they just look glorious.
but boaters watching from the water, beware. You must stay at least 100 yards away from any tall ship, a line crossed in 2019.
All the recreational vessels cut in front of the parade, and we had to shorten the parade by probably half a mile. So we couldn't get the ships all the way down past the yacht club.
Yeah, everybody wants to get close to, all the tall ships. It's something different that you don't see every day in the port. So, yeah, everybody just wants to get as close as possible, and sometimes it's a little too close.
Local sailors have signed up as escort captains. They'll help the U.S. Coast Guard establish a moving safety zone around that parade route and use buoys, too, to mark the area, and it will be enforced.
We've really asked people stay to the north and stay out of the track and out of the way of the ships so that everybody can really enjoy the Parade of Sail.
And what people will see is sailing pride and history.
The fact that it's still ongoing and still alive and well is really something, and the fact that we get to be part of it is great.
Lisa Adams, Erie News Now.
Lisa, thank you. So exciting and really so much history there. If you do plan to go down with your boat, they say be sure to watch out for those buoys, the escort, and hear this, Dakota. If you are busted, breaking this line, the max penalty, $10,000, 10 years in jail. So, oh gosh,
Not
you don't
worth
want to
it,
do that
folks.
now. Send him to the brig!
Walk the plank.
That's it for us today. We'll leave you with this live look over Chautauqua Lake. Have a great day.